Hello everyone, Assalamu alaikum. Today in this short tutorial, I'm going to cover a very simple yet powerful concept, a concept that is ignored by most beginner programmers. And once you master this concept, actually you're gonna write better code, you're gonna write scalable code. Not only that, you're gonna also pass an interview, because a lot of time interviewers they ask these questions. And what is this concept? So I'm going to talk about entity and model, which is ignored by many people and they don't know what are they and when to use that. Now, if you search the web about entity and you will see a bunch of response where it says that it represents core business object. You'll also see that while it represents real world data concept in your application and it has an unique identifier, but actually it doesn't clear your idea what is entity. The same goes for model. So if you look up the internet or ChatGPT, it will tell you that it is a data representation that works with API, and then it also provides serialization and deserialization methods, and it may have unique identifier, but it's not always necessary. So these text or these ideas that we learn about model and entity actually they don't help you. So here I'm going to give you a very simple trick to remember what is model, what is entity, and when to use them. Now, to clarify this idea, we're going to start with our model. Now, over here, I have a class which is called place order model, as you can see over here. So it has some fields and as well as a constructor. Most importantly, we see here that it has a fromJson method, okay? So this is the shining point. Not only that, it also has a toJson. So the idea is if you want to call something a model, you should have your fromJson and toJson method within this model class. Okay, remember, you have to have this fromJson and toJson, and then officially you can call it a model. And why you need that? For example, this one you need when you get the data from your database, okay? And this one you need when you submit your data to your database, okay? So this is where we say that model actually works with API. It works with data transfer. So if you want to transfer your data or save your data or get your data from somewhere else, then you have to create a model, and your model should have this fromJson and toJson, and then you're good to go, and then you know that okay, this is a model. Now, since this idea has been clarified over here, now let's take a look at something called entity. So here, this simple class is our entity, and as you see that it only has some fields over here and a constructor. It doesn't have anything else. It doesn't have like this fromJson or toJson. So if you do create a class where it has only fields and constructor, this is officially an entity. So that's the big difference between entity and model. I mean, forget about the other ideas that you see on the internet because they don't make sense, at least for beginners, because they even don't they even can't identify what is an entity, what is a model. So remember, fromJson and toJson make the big difference with an entity. Here I'm going to have a fresh start, and here I'll have a class which is called user entity, and as you see that it only has some fields and a constructor. Now we'll make a model based on this. So now this is our model, and as you see that model extends entity. So yes, of course, a model can extend entity. So entity is at the very core, I mean, in terms of the way it encapsulates data or bind data. Definitely other things can always extend it if it's necessary, because for example in this case user model, this one we don't need to declare them again here. We can just simply extend it using user entity, and then we have to have our fromJson and toJson method, and which is going to help us to transfer and get data or save data to the database. So that's it. You just mastered the idea of entity and model. So if you liked it, don't forget to subscribe and smash that like button.